School is my favorite thing in the whole world. Not.
Oh, Claudia is so awesome! Argo Font Book Review. Argo Font Book Review. This book was written by Ellen Miles. In book 85, I complained a lot about how there are too many books where Claudia picks up a new hobby. Well, here's another one! Claudia's new hobby today is baking, just in time for a cooking competition. The first page of the book is an advertisement for the competition. I think that's clever. They describe all the rules in one page. I wish the series would be just as efficient when describing how the Babysitters Club works. Our heroes are in the ages 9 to 15 group. They get 4 days to cook something, but the first 2 days don't count. That's kind of a silly rule for a competition, but the book needs an excuse for our heroes to still be in the running after they get sabotaged. The other strange rule is that you can make the same recipe all 4 rounds, so originality doesn't count and neither does half the competition. It's like the judges don't actually care about cooking skills in the cooking contest. Claudia is in a group with Marianne and her friend, Shay Radowski. Marianne wants to use a cake recipe that belonged to her mother. It was the best cake ever, but the recipe is lost. Finding Mom's lost recipe could have been a legitimately interesting mystery, but all they did was look in the attic for a few pages and recap Marianne and the secret of the attic. Phooey. Marianne's grandma calls with the recipe about 2/3 of the way through. The girls make the recipe twice and win the competition. I think that's the real reason you can reuse recipes in the cooking competition. It's convenient for the plot. College student Marty Nissen is in charge of the competition. He hires the Babysitters Club to run a daycare. He also hires Christy to be a cake cop. She has to walk around and ensure there is no cheating during the competition. Christy loves the job because she gets to boss people around, especially adults. But since Claudia is the narrator, she has to be the one who solves the mystery. So Christy is a terrible cop who doesn't notice anything, even though the culprit performs over 6 acts of sabotage. You had one job, Christy! The subplot is the babysitting daycare. The oldest kids are 12, which seems weird to me because it's a competition for 9-year-olds, but they babysit the 12-year-olds. Why? There are 2 out-of-town siblings named Kyle and Megan. Kyle says his sister stole a calculator. When they confront her, Megan is blank-faced and confesses without any emotion. Marianne decides Megan is sneaky and must be watched. Later on, Kyle says his sister broke a terrarium. Megan has no idea what that even is, but when she learns Kyle accused her, she gives another deadpan confession. It's pretty obvious she's covering for Kyle, but the babysitters are confused and wonder what's happening. Marianne writes a description of the various cooking teams. There are cute boys, out-of-towners, and a big empty space, which makes me think that some content was deleted. Cookie Mason is on a team with Grace Bloom and the daughter of a dessert chef. Cookie brags they're going to win, and she spends the rest of the book homesick with bronchitis. On the first day, the culprit replaces Claudia's flour with baking soda, and they change the timer on Logan's oven. Claudia claims the culprit got away with it because things were so chaotic, but she later reveals, well, she was too busy flirting with the cute boy team to pay attention to her cake. Claudia! Things are chaotic because they only have one sink in the building. This is a terrible location for a cooking competition. Our heroes have 3 suspects, 2 girls named Julie and Rachel, whose parents are intent on winning, and Jackie Radowski, who's a regular character and therefore innocent. Grace and Claudia get into an argument and accuse each other. Claudia thinks Grace looks innocent, so she apologizes to Grace and invites her to join the investigation. After all, Grace knows what Nancy Drew books are. She has to be a good detective. With Grace's help, they realize the culprit is only attacking the winning contestants. That's normally the case when someone uses sabotage to win a competition. Grace suggests that they keep an eye on everything, which is what Christy the cake cop should be doing. They see Marty and Julie making out at Julie's car. Marty instantly jumps to the top of the suspect list. Claudia thinks about detective words like stakeout and eavesdrop when she has a big realization. In order to sabotage their cake, the culprit must go near the cake. That sounds obvious, but the book acts like this is a huge insight. Meanwhile, the kids make a fake restaurant for their parents. All the adults love it. Kyle blames Megan for messing with the sink. It's revealed Kyle is the one who's doing bad things. He's been acting up ever since their parents divorced. Megan covers for him because she doesn't want him to run away again. This is some surprisingly heavy material. The babysitters decide to do absolutely nothing. They figure Kyle is good now that he's been caught and won't cause problems anymore. What bad babysitters. They should at least tell their parents, right? Claudia sets a trap for the culprit. They make a big show of leaving their workstation unattended. Then they hide and watch it. They catch Marty red-handed, messing with their oven controls. Claudia gets a surprisingly cool moment when she reveals Marty cheated by putting his girlfriend in the kids division. Julie has her own car, therefore she's not under 16. Great detective work, Claudia. The end. Post-book follow-up. The investigation in this mystery was bad, because there was no investigation. All they did was recap what happened a few times. If this was a Nancy Drew book, we would at least get a few sabotage cliffhangers to spice things up. They didn't even bother to question any of the suspects. At this point in the series, I think it's safe to say that whenever our heroes ignore a suspect, it means they're a fake-out suspect. The real culprit is a surprise. Your mileage may vary in terms of how surprising the culprit is. I notice these books tend to alternate between Cookie Mason and Alan Gray as fake-out suspects. Are we ever going to see Cookie and Alan together? I don't mean the two of them dating each other, although that would be interesting to see. I mean both of them in the same book, being the suspects and the antagonists. After all, they're the two main Babysitters Club villains. They should team up in a super special someday. Claudia gets a cordless phone in this book, and she spends a chapter gushing about how cool it is. She can talk on the phone from anywhere in her house. She can even walk while using the phone. Oh! It was really, really cute. When Claudia learns about cell phones, it is going to blow her mind. Overall, the book was okay. The mystery wasn't so good, but it was kind of neat to see Grace team up with our heroes. The subplot was stronger than normal, Claudia's narration was good, and cake is delicious. I give Babysitter's Club Mystery number 21, Claudia and the Recipe for Danger, a 7 out of 10.